And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I always do. How are you guys doing this morning? Yes, I'm a little late. You know why? Because I got caught up in an email. I had to send an email out to someone that wants me to share in a magazine. So I was like, oh, let me send this out really quick. So sorry about that. Sorry for my delay, but duty was calling, so I had to reach back immediately on. That was a mistake there. Hitting buttons that I shouldn't be hitting. Okay, let's get it on. Let's see who's the first person in the building. It is a grand rising, Ron, and everyone in RLP family. Yes, she is number one. I saw you. I saw you early. I saw you. I can see what's going on. I had this queued up, and Dr. B is in the building. Brian Young Creative is in the building. He sends his hellos. And Chrissy's in the building. Good morning, Chrissy. And Lisa is in the building. Good morning. Oh, what's going on here? Why is this hesitating? Oh, there we go. We had a little delay there. It was so good to talk to Lisa yesterday. And let's see here. Kelly A is in the building. She's in the building. Who else is in the building? David. David is in the building. Let me pop that in. David Moscato is in the building. Yes, sir. Were you on that call for white dues for Harris? Just let me know if you were. Okay. And Hannah is in the building. Omar, where are you? I supposedly came too late, waiting for you. And Jazzy's in the building. Good morning, everyone, she says. And yes, Aya gets the gold. Aya gets the gold today. Speaking of gold, who's watching the Olympics? Who is watching the Olympics? I can't say I've been looking at it. I used to look at it all the time when, the Olympics used to be like full blast on Channel 4 or whatever channel it is. But usually I think it was Channel 4. It's been Channel 4 for many decades. And but now I think it's on Peacock, most of it. And so therefore I only get to see a piece of it on regular TV. And I do not have Peacock. And I am not paying for another subscription because I got rid of all my well, not all of them, most of them, except for 3. So I had to get rid of subscriptions. They were costing me an arm and a leg. And I didn't realize how many dollars I was spending on subscriptions. But yeah, how many people are watching the Olympics? Chris says she is. Welcome, Chris. What's going on, Chris? Jazzy says she's watching the Olympics. All right. So some of you are watching the Olympics. Lisa said, it's okay, sis. Lisa says, sorry, I had to jump off so quickly. Yes, it was great just catching up with her. And we always compare notes. Mom notes. And I see here Brian says, man, Simone Biles is the GOAT. Yes, I heard she is. I missed the actual event, but I heard she is like the all-time gold collector, gold winner. Yes. Gary, speaking of sports, Gary, you know what I had an idea of this morning when I was gathering my things together to do my walk. Yes, I do. I try to put in a 4-mile walk every morning. And I said, Gary should have a segment on this platform during the Olympics. I saw your show last night and obviously made me think. And I was like, oh, you know what? Gary should have a spot to kind of like give us a review and share his perspective on the Olympics. Since he does have a sports channel, for those that don't know, he does have a YouTube sports channel. Maybe I can bring it up on here so that way you can see it. But he definitely has a sports channel that you should be checking out. And but I was like, I think that would be a good idea. What do y'all guys think? I see in the building also. Hannah says, I'm watching but waiting for track. Oh, we go. Wait, let me get that up there. Hold on a second. There we go. You got some. I'm watching but waiting for track and field for the real watch. See, I do love the track and field. I love the track and field, but I do love gymnastics. And so I've been missing the gymnastics. And I'm not sure if it's on channel 4 or is it on Peacock. I can't figure it out. Anyway, I know some of you guys are truly, truly, truly Olympic goers, Olympic watchers. Hey, Trish is in the building. Trish is in the building. Good morning, West Coast. West Coast is in the building. Chrissy says, I am with you, Ron. I don't have Peacock, and so I'm not watching it. I know. It's I feel sad. I feel it feels strange that something that was so free for everyone to view is now you have to pay to see part of it on Peacock. Just saying. And I'm a little pissed off at Channel 4. NBC, I don't really like you for that because same thing with my Law and Order. I am a Law and Order fan. I've watched Law and Order. I've seen every episode probably 10 times each. And it's on Peacock. And you cannot see it on regular Channel 4. I guess you can, I guess, if you look at it in its time slot. But I'm like, that's crazy. They're not looking out for the consumer. I can tell you that. But okay, any more Olympic people? I'm back. I don't know what this. I have an Apple mouse. This Apple mouse, it does some crazy stuff, and you got to be so very careful with it. I really hate it. There's one thing I hate about Apple. It is this mouse. Anyway, just saying. I'm back. Thank goodness I'm back. That was crazy. Did you see what happened there? Okay, maybe I gotta move this gently across the screen. Gwendolyn's in the building. We're not gonna start talking about fruit this morning. Oh, say, oh, was that a beautiful? Wasn't that beautiful last night? Kamala says, if you got something to say it to me say it to me in my face. That was so good. Gary says, Ron, that Apple mouse, I thought it was the business. Is so sensitive. Gotta be careful. It is. This thing is so freaking sensitive. And I'm still learning that, the different clicks and the different things that it can do. And it's a powerful tool, but it's a powerful tool for a fool if you don't know what you're doing. So anyway, just saying. I see here. So first of all, let me invite some folks on. I forgot to send those invitations out because a lot is in the news, and we're gonna go through some headlines because what is today? It's water cooler talk day. This is what we do here. Let me send this out. Should I get a Gwendolyn in here? Of course, we gotta put Gwendolyn on the menu. Brian is on the menu. Has anyone seen Elise? Is Elise in the building? I'm gonna put her here just in case she happens to pop in. Elise is in the, let me put that there for her. And guys, if there's anyone, again, let me know if you want to join in. We could have a whole community discussion. It doesn't have to be just 4 or 5 people. I can get up to now we know we can get up to almost 1 million people. No, that's probably about maybe up to we definitely know we can get up to 20,000 people on StreamYard. So that's a drop in the bucket for us. Who else is there? I got G. Okay, got it. And is Omar in the building? Let me see if Omar. Lisa, I would love for you to come on one day. God dog it, Lisa. Anyway, I'm sending these invitations out. Okay, there we go. So that way you can pop on because we can do headlines. Ah, yes, indeed. There we go. Okay, now we're squared away. Fifi, you try to pop on here. You can pop on if you want to. Yeah, Gary. Oh gosh, this little mouse of mine. Let's see here. Monday, I thought my vision left me. And I was here and then I wasn't. I disappeared. That is not cool. Let me see here. Let me see here also. Let me put up here what we're talking about today. And also, let's put in another banner since we're at it. Here we go. Here we go. This little baby. So if you are here for the first time, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Like, subscribe, and share, I should say. And so you do that. Let's see who's in the Instagram world. I see a lot of people have been hanging out in the Instagram world. Instagram folks, come on over to the YouTube channel. It is a much better. It is a much better experience. I know. I can't believe I'm still saying that. Been saying that. We've been on YouTube now since February, and people are still on Instagram. Come on over. Use Instagram as your launching pad. How about that? Use it as your launching pad. Okay, there's a lot of headlines, so I cannot wait to hear about what you have to say. Let me just see. I think we got all the greetings in. Lisa, Black Journalist Group invite. Yes, we're going to talk about that too, Lisa. And USA Women's Rugby made some history. I did not know that. I did not know that. USA Women's Rugby made some histories on the Olympics. Okay, let's go with this. Let's go with the headlines. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's dive in. Whoever wants to be here. First of all, let me change that number. I do believe that number. Someone said 20,000, but I'm going to change that number to 10,000 plus. How about that? I heard it was 20,000, but I'm going to just go with the 10,000 plus. That's how we do. That's how you stay accurate. Okay, here we go. And how many of you watched the Vice President Harris speaks at the campaign event in Atlanta where 10,000 plus attendees were there? So much so, there was standing room only, and there were large numbers outside the stadium hoping to get in. Yo, can someone say that's incredible? I think G is in the backstage. G is in the backstage. She's in the backstage waiting to come on. So I gotta bring her on. G, are you ready? Give me the thumbs up if you're ready. There you go. Here she comes. G's in the house. Did you? Because you saw that. It was so funny because I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm looking at it live. I'm looking at it live," and I called Gwendolyn and I said, "I don't really like this person that's."
I was like,
entertainment, and she was like, "I think this was about an hour ago."
I said, "They're at a church. How can you not like people at a church?" And you're like, "They're not at a church. He's dancing." I was like, "But they're at a church." Yeah,
I got the wrong footage.
Yes, I was like, "Bruh, you're a little late."
You're a little late. It was the reason why I was late because I was looking at it, then I had to turn away from it because my point person for Martha's Vineyard's African American Film Festival called us, and I was like, "Dog it, don't you know it's Kamala time?" And so I got distracted, and so I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I saw this." Anyway, long story short, 10,000 strong in Georgia.
Yes.
What are you what do you think of this, Gwendolyn?
You know what? It is great to see, but I do believe, like Kamala, we are still the underdog.
Still the underdogs.
We're still the underdog, and this is not a honeymoon phase. Like, people are seriously interested and engaged by her. There's always comments. People are like, "Oh my God, you guys are puppets. Didn't you guys vote for the other guy?" It's like, you do know that JD Vance literally dragged his guy just years ago. So, like, who's really the puppet? Like, it's just like think about it, right? At the end of the day, though, the way this works is you pick the best person and you decide, hey, it may not be 100, but I'm at 95% or 80%.
Yes.
And I'm going all in. That's how this works. Like, no one's ever going to have 100%. I just don't believe it. As you and I were talking, in my head, it would be great if we could remove the red and the blue, because I do believe most of us are right down the middle. There are
Yes.
some people who are all the way to the left. There are some folks who are all the way to the right. But at the end of the day, if you just sat down and talked about what we really believe in, we all truly agree. There's a couple of things we're like, not so much. But for the most part, we all do agree on some stuff. And then there are other things where people just go way over. I will leave my comments about not only JD Vance and his latest response, but let's keep in mind that there have been other women who have made the same response to women who choose to not have kids. I'm a choose to not have kids for my own reasons. One, I'm just not that responsible. Like, let's just be honest about it. Love them, but it's like, look here, you got to go home back to your parents. Like, really? Like, seriously. I don't know how folks do it all day. Like every day? Like every day I gotta
Every
get
day
up?
with kids is
Seriously?
that's a chore.
No. It's a chore. And I love my kids. As I told you, Ron, I'm in my Gigi and auntie season. Spend my weekends with my grandbaby, the one that's closest, and the others are in Florida. So, but the whole idea that, he and women have this, like, people have said, oh, well, you don't understand because you don't have kids, or you're not married, or you're like, I don't know where they get this whole thing from, that the only thing that makes your life valuable is if you are creating another life. I don't know where that came from. I don't get it.
And what's amazing on that note too is that how many of us have had teachers that had no children? And it's one of the reasons why they became teachers is probably because they had no children or they could not have children. And they made the difference in so many of our lives. I will always remember Miss Moore. Miss Moore and when I was in junior high school, did not have any children. But guess what? She looked out for me like I was her own.
Mhm.
I think about my teachers, the teachers that were that stood in the gap. It was so crazy. Yes, the whole and to talk about that he's been feeling this way since 2021. There's like he
Oh,
has
yeah.
it was on his campaign letter that he sent out. This guy is I would not put it past Trump to get rid of him.
It could someone clearly didn't do their job in vetting.
They didn't
Someone
do
didn't vet
no
this is me.
vetting.
But
Yes.
I had a thought, and this reminds me, it brings me back to the image that we saw yesterday at VP Harris's rally. So their idea of family, like when people talk about you don't have kids, you don't have this, or you don't have any family, you clearly don't get what family is really about. Family is more than blood. Right? It's a coming together to build a community, to build a village so that everybody prospers. And when we talk about prospering, we're not saying financial gain only. We're talking information, we're talking access, we're talking education. Because if I know something, you're going to know something.
Yes.
If I have access to something, you're going to have access to something.
Yes.
If I'm going here, I'm taking you with me. Right? And so when you look at her rally yesterday, I got the feeling of we are all in this together. And that she says we're not
Yes.
going back to the world of living in silos and operating as if it's just me against the world. We're not doing that. This is not a zero-sum game. You don't have to lose in order for me to win. We can all win.
We can all
Everybody
win
can win.
together. And but again, we've had this conversation a lot of times. The whole mindset of some of these people in their Bible Belt silos and the Christian nationalist silos and this white only silos is that their whole purpose of their political motivations is so that you and people that look like us don't get what they think they should be getting alone. So therefore, let's cut it all off for everybody.
Yes.
Because we don't want you to get what we're getting. So we don't want to get it now either, because you're going to get it if we go with it. And that's the whole think about Republican policies.
Mhm.
They do not benefit poor people in the South,
Mm-mm.
in the red states. they do not support. They do not
Mm-mm,
give them health care. They don't give them a good education. They don't
mm-mm.
give them hospitals. They don't give them, and the list goes on and on. Education, everything, and they don't work with them. The programs do not support them, but yet, because of their prejudices, discrimination, and their lack of education,
I'm gonna say
a lot of
scarcity
them,
mindset too, though.
it
There's a scarcity mindset, right? Like in order
scarcity
again,
mindset.
if this person gets it, then I can't. I was preparing a presentation, and someone was asking about what to use you if the market is saturated. Look, if you just came on the game, of course the market is saturated. It's always saturated, but we have talked about it. You have aisles and aisles of water and peanut butter and bread, and all them bitches are selling. Go on and put yours out there. It's gonna be all right. There's room for yours too. There's plenty of room. Plenty of room at the end.
But then the thing about Vance and his family ideology, they had one of the best families in probably a century with the Obamas. I mean, you had obviously the JFK and his family with the kids, but you couldn't get a better representation of a great family
Right.
on the world stage. But yet that wasn't good enough for them.
Mm-mm.
They don't believe in family. They
No, they
believe
don't.
in maybe can we say it? White families.
Well,
That's all they
yeah,
believe in. They
it's
don't
not
believe
about
in any other kind of family. They don't believe in any kind of childbearing. They don't believe in any other it's all about white women must have white children
yeah,
so that we can increase our numbers on the
yeah.
planet.
Yes, that is that. That's very clear. It's not about us. It's
So they
just
don't
not.
care about
It
the
doesn't have
black
to be there.
women. They don't care about the maternal problems
No.
that are happening around the country.
Mm-mm. No, because if there was a care for that, there would be policies in place. There would be a collection of data. They could care less. And
Yeah.
wasn't it Louisiana who, oh, let me not make it up, because Louisiana, they always doing something. Um I'm sorry, my neighbors
Yes,
always
right.
getting
That's
into
your neighbor's
something.
state. Cut it out. Cut it out.
It's my dad's home state,
But
so it ain't like
that's your daddy's state. That's right. That's right. Your dad's from
my
there,
dad's
right? Your
home
dad was
state. Yeah,
from there. Yeah. Oh, let's
yeah.
bring on the great also. Let's hold on a second. Chrissy says, say that again, Ron. Yeah, it's the truth. I mean, they are not interested in any other people.
No.
Yeah, and they don't understand when you and if they really believed in the red letters of the Bible, which they say they claim to be, they don't understand that if they just follow that one thing that Jesus said, if you care for the least of them, right? You do unto them the least of them, you do that for me. Right? If
Yeah,
you take
so
care of the least in your society, everybody wins. Anyway,
So just to answer that, so with Louisiana, in terms of maternal mortality, right? They are 47th out of 48 states.
say that number again
47 out of 48.
of
And
mortalities.
in terms of Black mothers, there's 4 Black mothers that die for every white mother.
Wow.
We'll have to come back to that discussion on another day, because I get into my feelings. I get into my feelings when it comes to black women, but
I know you
why
can
would
go
I not?
in. Anyway, I see Brian is in the backstage. Brian, are you ready to come on? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Okay, there's Mr. B. There he is. What's going on, Mr. B?
Hey, you guys. I was on my walk, so I had to get back to the car.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we have to make sure that we take care of people, the least. Anyway, but the rally was awesome. It was great. Kamala came out. I just got to make sure I get this point out really quick. Kamala came out on fire. when it came to the border. Like she said, wait a minute, y'all can come against me on the border, but guess what? I'm gonna let you know what happened. And she gives it her. She shares about her cases in California, what she did about the people that crossed the border, and then she goes into with the kill, which they need to keep doing it every single day with the hammer. That there was a bill that was created by a Republican.
Yeah.
That was extreme for Democrats, but Democrats got on board with the Republicans, bipartisan legislation, and the bill was going to pass. But Mr. DJT, the orange, the bad orange man, told his people, do not vote yes to this bill, the most aggressive bill that Republicans will ever have, that had ever been able to come up with. Democrats would have never, ever crossed those aisles on so much. The progressives were upset about that bill, but in the name of the border, they got on board, most of them, to pass a bill that was going to clean up. And then also the people that were on the border were also for the bill.
Yeah.
So Trump is the reason why there is no bill today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they got to keep driving that home, because a lot of ignorant people out there, ignorance, because they don't do their due diligence to read, or they have not been watching the news, or they just don't know the facts. And if Kamala could keep driving that, and again, can I say something that I'm using? Remember we had the Joker in the building yesterday?
You're so popular now. I'm so jealous.
We had a troll dude and guess what? Not only did he troll me in here, he trolled me in my personal company email. Like, you have to contact the company, and gave me this long list of Kamala's a czar of the border, yada, yada, yada. And can we all get away from the horrible stupidity of those crazy notes that he sent me? Yes, I'm calling it out. Because guess what? It wasn't Kamala that called herself the czar of the border czar. It wasn't the Biden administration that said she was the border czar. It was a media term that they gave her. Her job was to work with heads of states, to work on their economies and find ways to help them, to help the people not come to the United States, but they can help them in their countries and how they could work with them. And I think it's Nicaragua and another country have done very well with those policies that Kamala has created with all the people that were involved in the border. And then they're doing better. That's why you see all the numbers going down on the border. And you also see that Biden has done by passing these other laws. I mean, not other laws, but you want to call them executive orders. By passing executive orders to go around Trump's rejection of the bill, to get some of those parts executed. So if you are a troll, don't come at me, because I will come back. Or if not, you will be cut off. And you cannot, again, that dude called Kamala the B word in our feed. My job is to protect everyone in this building. This is a community. And if you want to be a troll, this is the wrong place. Now, some people let the trolls keep hanging out. Not I. I will delete you. I will block you. Every single troll Why?
So,
I have a community to protect. And first of all, you go up against a black woman or a white woman or an Asian woman, any woman, and call her the B word, I will definitely lose my mind, which you probably were like, I was controlling myself. I just hit that delete button so fast. I was like, oh, be gone. Anyway, sorry. I just had to get that out. Anyway, but Brian, go ahead, buddy.
I think but I just not on my watch either. That's not what I wanted to share, but along, I love these organic, seriously. But
yes,
misinformation and disinformation is real. Bots are real.
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
we froze. He froze. Okay, there he is.
Oh man, I might have to drive away from the the woods.
That might help. You might need to get near an antenna.
Yeah. So I'll just say our national security apparatus has shown its proof and factual that it was Russian interference in our 2016 and 2020 election through digital misinformation. So how and if we engage with any of these haters that are coming into various platforms, it doesn't matter how big or small an audience is. This is something digital. So, I'm not a digital person, but I would assume that these trolls and bots and fake accounts, they could just boop, 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 and have it go throughout. Doesn't matter whether we have 2 followers or 200 followers. They get in there and then they start to engage. I almost got caught up in a back and forth until I realized, wait a minute, I did a quick little search.
Froze again.
Other brothers followed this person's account. I went to their IG that was connected. It was fake. So, and if it was real, so be it. But I'm like, listen, you've got 1,000 active for 2 days. Oh man. Okay. So I'll
Brian, we're gonna have to get you a tower. So you're gonna drive to a tower and then come back on.
All right.
So what's the difference exercising outside? You should exercise inside. You should be like me. Get your home gym, man.
Well, I understand. I understand about getting out and exercising.
I get outside too, just so you know.
Yes, you do. You have the hammock that you hang out in. You have that hammock that you be rolling on. Oh my gosh. But okay, next subject. Here's another subject.
Yeah, Ryan will come back. He'll come back.
Oh, did you want to say something, G?
No. In terms of misinformation, you just have to. It's interesting that we have short memories, right? Like I remember him saying not to move forward on that border bill.
That's right.
And so I immediately said, well, clearly the border can't be an issue, because if it was, you would want to resolve it. You wouldn't want to have this issue hanging on until you need it to make it a speaking point. People who were down there, it's like, are there people who were coming in? Yes. Are there people who were sleeping outside? Yes. But they make it seem like, oh, we've had 200 million people come into this country and it's just overflowing. Cut it out. Like, just stop with all the hyperboles. It's really not that. And the fact that they could have resolved it and he said not to should tell you it's really not that big a deal. It's like the war on drugs. Cut it out.
Exactly. It's fake, because we also know you don't hear about the border until it's an election year.
Yes, that's the only time.
And the rest of after November, you won't hear anything about the border from the Republicans. Anyway, here's another thought. Speaking of Republicans, Arizona Republican Mayor John Giles endorses Harris for president. So what's happening around the country? He's not the first. There's several mayors, Republican mayors, and people that are in the Republican Party that are endorsing Kamala Harris.
Yes.
What do you guys think of this? Do you think, like Pete Buttigieg said, that the Republican Trump fever is breaking? That there are some folks that are saying, you know what? We see what this dude is where he's going. We need to stop him. Do you
I think
think it's happening?
I believe it's a mixture. So I was talking to my husband about this on our ride to Houston. And I come from a family that speaks up a lot. Like my dad, I am very much like my deceased father. God bless all of me, Lord Jesus. And my mother as well, right? So when we see things that aren't quite right, we're going to call it out. Like we just don't sit in the background and we're like, okay. So it just baffled me that he was able to come in and literally take over an entire party and people did speak up. Maybe they did speak up, but there wasn't enough people to say, oh, I'm just going to ride with it and just go with the grain because I don't want to be ostracized and I don't want to be that person who doesn't get invited to the barbecue and I don't want to be, that could be it. But now that there is enough people that they feel comfortable saying, I don't mind going out on the edge. I have seen some other things. Perhaps this is going entirely too far. It's impacting somebody I know and love. I am now going to stand up and say something.
Mm-hmm.
That could be it. Because I just find it so hard that people saw what was being said. I mean, he says some utterly disgusting things. He does on a consistent basis across the board. And people are like, he's just saying something. He don't really mean that. He don't really mean that. But yet and still, some of y'all think he's like the second coming of Christ. Like, are you kidding me? Are you really serious?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. So I gotta believe that it's a combination of the environment that is making people say, you know what? I can't not vote because that's still voting for the other person.
Yeah.
I have to come out and say, this is who I believe in. And it could just be for this one race, but everything is on the line. And I'm okay with saying I'm going this way because everything is on the line.
Yeah. Brian says mayors are on the front lines of citizen to citizen engagement. So they know their people. They know their constituents. So it's just interesting that several Republicans have come out yesterday and the day before that are saying, hey, you know what? We are with Kamala. I mean, and you see all of these definitely these postings. People from different backgrounds are all supporting, and it's just really, I have not seen this kind of energy across the board, and just like everyone from every kind of background talking about they want change. They want to see change. Mr. B is back. I think he's found a location.
Has he found the location?
There he is. Right. There he is. He's back.
I'm not hating on you for being healthy, sir. I'm right there with you. Keep the heart pumping. I'm right there with you.
I don't know about healthy because I went around the corner and parked in front of the Starbucks.
Oh, there you go. You're guaranteed.
You don't have to go in. You don't have to go in. But they do have good Wi-Fi.
They have good Wi-Fi. There you go.
Yeah.
Migrants 20%. Okay, here's a now this is some, I mean, you got some interesting photo, Miss A Golf Twiddler. This is some kind of picture on your page, on your Addy. But you're coming with some facts. 73% of U.S. farm workers are immigrants. 44% of U.S. farm workers are undocumented immigrants. What happens to the price of groceries when you incarcerate half of America's farm workers? The GOP needs crisis. Absolutely. And but it's just interesting, as we were talking about the migrants and that situation. But I'm curious. I was definitely curious to see how you guys felt about. Are you hearing or are you seeing in the news also where you're located in your local news of Republicans, or do you know Republicans or Trump followers that are beginning to think, I'm out. I'm finished with Trump. I'm done. I'm moving to Harris. Have any of you guys out there in your encounters are encountering anything like that? So think about it. Just a question. Just wanted to get that on the table since it is something that is happening is like a little chiseling away. Okay.
If I may, I
Yes.
have some friends, close friends who have been Republicans all their life, political science people, so they are all in. But back in 2016, take it back, 2016 is when this one particular friend started voting blue because she just could not get behind the foolishness that was starting and has voted blue since.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't. For some people, it could be a chiseling. For some, it was an immediate turnoff from the get-go.
Well, think about Nikki Haley's voters. Nikki Haley's voters are Republicans, and they don't like Trump. Which was sad for her that she decided to go, drinking back from the trough of Trump. But her followers did not. Her followers are not going back to Trump, and they say a lot of her followers are connecting with Harris. And wasn't there I think it was USA Today talking about Haley's people also were now they got, I think it was some portion, some organization of the Haley voter endorsed Harris, which is quite interesting that so there's some fevers breaking in the Republican Party that begin to say, wait a minute, I want to save democracy.
Mhm.
I don't care. I may disagree with Democrats, but democracy is more important.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, guess who else is in the building? Guess who else is in the building? Miss
All right.
Sister Elise is in the building.
Good morning. It's early in my neck of the woods today.
Where are you? Are you on the West Coast again?
Yes, I am.
Lord of mercy.
You know, I have Josiah's pre-release party tomorrow. So I'm in LA.
You're bi-coastal. You are
Well,
a
Auntie got to
bi-coastal
show
woman.
up.
You show
Auntie gotta
up.
show
You
up.
do. You show and you support artists. You support artists. But again, and so think of, I mean, you're over in the West Coast right now. You live
Right.
on the East Coast, and you're in the political arena of the country. Are you seeing any of your Republican friends or people that you know are Republicans kind of like saying, you know what, I'm a hardcore Republican, but you know what, I just can't vote for the orange guy another time?
Look, I don't really have any Republican friends. I guess I have to call my husband's relatives.
But again,
That's
so
not my choice.
relative,
I just don't have any.
because Brian mentioned in our little, we have a little text that we have. Brian mentioned that he was with the young people in his family, and he went to them and started talking about the election.
Right.
Brian, you want to share about what happened there?
But I do want to say something about the Republicans, though.
Okay,
so
go
what's
ahead.
happening is, if you listen to the ones that have spoken out, like the former lieutenant governor, the ones that they're speaking out, they're supporting Kamala right now because they're trying to save the Republican Party.
Yes.
They're trying to get rid of the MAGA Trump side.
Yes.
So that's why they're out here supporting Kamala. Now, don't make any mistakes. They're supporting her, but I'm sure they're not voting for the House and Senate. She needs to get her stuff through.
Good point.
That's the part we have to remember. They're supporting her, but for her to accomplish everything that people say they want her to accomplish, we cannot forget that the entire House of Representatives is up for re-election, and so are 33 senators. So we need to make sure, you need to clearly understand, they're not saying they're voting for Democrats up and down the ballots.
Yes.
They're voting for her. So they'll still be voting for Republicans on the other side. We need to make sure that we understand that,
very good
and that we
observation.
clearly understand that we cannot come back like we've done with Obama and Biden and say, well, they didn't do X, Y, Z, and we don't give her the House and the Senate that she needs to accomplish everything we want. We need everything to be blue. They're not saying they're trying to get everything to be blue.
Right.
Yeah.
They're trying to they're trying to be able to get their party back. And this is the opportunity they're seizing on, to get their party back to what they think it should look like. They're not saying we're sponsoring someone to run against Marjorie Taylor Greene. At least I haven't heard anyone say that out loud, right?
Yeah, yeah, or the other guy from
So
a bunch of them.
So let's not forget that the entire House of Representatives is up for re-election. 33 senators are out there, and there are at least 11 governors across the country that are up for election. If you're in a red state and your governor is up for re-election, then you need to go out there and vote blue up and down your ticket so that it changes. They're not trying to change the entire dynamics. They're trying to change this component of the piece. Because Republicans haven't won that popular vote. And they see the increase, so they're riding away. But we cannot be distracted from what we also need to do. We have to do it, or we can. Just like you complain with Biden, you complain with Obama, and you didn't give them come back in the midterm when all the House of Representatives is up for re-election again, and some more senators. You got to make sure that we are giving them what they need, so that we can't make these comments that we're making. That people are. I'm not making comments, but
can I
people
throw
are making.
something in there, Elise, since
Sure.
you're on that subject? Because this is kind of like an advertisement to all college students that may be watching this. Because I'm surprised I do have a good young following. So the young folks that are in here, or that will see this later on, if you live or are parents of college students, if your child lives on a campus, this is their week. This week and next week, I do believe, are the weeks for them to get their early ballots from out of state. So make sure that they get their ballots so that way they can vote from their wherever locations they're at, but they can vote for their state that they live in. But because they're out of state, there's a form that goes out this week and I think next week. So make sure that your college students that want to participate in the election, make sure that they get those forms filled out so that way they can vote out of state, so that their vote will count. Okay, Brad, Mr. B.
Well, to Lisa's point and Kim's comment in there, and you thank you for keeping that up. That old saying, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." That's what some of these Republican mayors. That's what I feel. I'll just say that. I won't.
Oh no, that's a very true statement. There are people that live by that. Kim got it. I mean, Kimmy got it right. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly.
I mean, that is a true philosophy that has been. I mean, you even saw it was seen in Game of Thrones that they even use this line. I mean, this is for all those Game of Throners out there. I mean, it is a concept. It's like, also, here's the other one. Keep your enemies close, right? You keep your enemies closer. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer.
Right.
I want to know what my enemies are doing. That's the whole point. And
sorry, I guess the Wi-Fi is wonky here, so let me hurry up.
No, we're getting you. We're getting you. Just stick to it. Stick to it, sir. So, well, I guess he's frozen. Maybe not. Maybe not, Mr. B. Get on home, sir. Get on home. Anyway, you got 9 minutes to get home. No, just kidding. Right. But he's frozen again. But
he's back.
I challenge everyone. Start within your own family. I always say, make it plain. I was on a family Zoom call Sunday. I know today's Wednesday, but I've been working on it. My task was to organize out of my generation. I'm the oldest out of my generation in my family. And when I say extended family, my task is organizing the next family Zoom call with all the males from my age on down.
Poor Brian.
He keeps freezing.
He's frozen. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna let me share with your situation. Brian has spent time with his family, and Brian has taken the helm in making sure that the conversation is being taken with his family to educate them. What he discovered when he was talking to his family is how many of the young people in his family, young males, were misinformed. They were not informed properly of what the issues are and what the issues should be. So he has taken the the helm and saying, I'm going to make sure that I educate my nephews and my the cousins and all that stuff,
Right.
the people in his family. Okay.
And you can
Elise,
see,
go ahead, Elise.
yeah, and you can see that in a lot of when you see
Is
some
it
of the
working?
videos. We
No,
can
you
hear
were
you.
broken up, Brian. We're going on. We're moving on. Just hang out with us. But Elise is
All right.
speaking now.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
you
Sorry
can
about that.
you can see that in some of the videos that you see that where they're posting young Black people and they are coming out with all the misinformation. They're not
Yes.
they don't know any of the facts. They're just repeating whatever they hear someone says. For example, my friend has there's a female friend of his who posted in her stories, "Oh, I'm not gonna vote for Kamala. I don't like her." And I was like, either you're gonna reach out to her or let me reach out to her. So he reached out to her to find out why. And it was all nonsense. It was all ridiculous nonsense. And she's in her mid-30s. And it was all this, it's the same nonsense of one of the comments that I thought was crazy had something to do with her not raising a Black child or whatever. Her laugh. All of it was the ridiculous, foolish things that they're saying.
It's all foolishness.
This
It's
is a
all
young woman.
foolishness.
This is a young woman who's a Stanford graduate too. So and I told her, and she lives in my neighborhood. If I catch her on the street, we're gonna have a conversation. Not on the sense because I want her to share with me. I won't even let her know my son shared anything with me. I just want her to share with me what her thoughts are so we can clear up the misinformation, because they all start out with her record as a DA, which is we all know is misinformation. They don't even know what the real truth is, and they're not taking time to look it up. So yes, it is up to us when someone comes with that to inform them of the truth and help them go and find it if they don't want to believe us, so that they don't keep repeating and absorbing the misinformation that's out there about Kamala.
Can I add to that? If my Wi-Fi is still good, I went off. Be strategic, because when I say that, like, as you said, Elise, last time we had a conversation, we're in a sprint. To me,
Yes.
this is like a sprint, a marathon sprint. You know, there's times we got to go all out. Sometimes from here until not just election day, which everybody keeps saying is less than 100 days away, 90 something. No, election day is early voting, which in some states can be
43 days away.
Yeah,
43 days is an early voting.
So when we're engaging with people in our circles who are spewing, and especially if it's young or just anyone who's spewing these just talking points and not digging into the details and the facts, in my opinion, be strategic. I think you can gauge if somebody is too far down that road where you can't pull them back. As my colleague in teaching tells me, like, Brian, we can't save everyone. I try, but if you wind up spending more energy than what it takes to get a hook in them, to see the facts and the light, you mad at her because of her laugh? Think about that. And then, and I don't want to say how I would be in the street like, mofo, I don't like your laugh, but we still hang out. So I mean, like, that's what I would say.
But here's another subject I want to throw at you guys real quick. Trump was invited to the National Association of Black Journalists. The NABJ convention sparks a backlash. What do you got now? The invitation did go out to Trump, and it did go out to Kamala. It did go out to both. However, Kamala let them. She says, "Can I do it
virtually,
streaming or off campus?" Because she had to go to the funeral, and she also had to do something else with some kind of other thing that she had to do. She had previous engagements related to the campaign, and they would not do it.
Right.
They turned it down, that she could not do it. But yet, at the same time, these are Black journalists, and they are. First, I was shocked that they gave an invitation to Trump. But what do you guys think of this whole ordeal? It was so bad that one of the leading officers of the NABJ resigned and said, "I'm out. I'm done."
Can I say with that, Convict Orange has been invited and has turned down an opportunity to speak. I think Roland Martin broke it down. 2016, 17, 18, 2019, 2020, and now he wants to speak there. And one of his cronies, and I can't remember the sister's name. She's one of the few that I try to forget, who is on Fox. She is the champion of this. How much money has the right? How much money has Rupert Murdoch? How much money has Fox News? How much money has Newsmax? How much money has all of these organizations, private, public, who are behind him getting brought back to office, are trying to play on our intelligence? Don't fall for it. Sorry.
But my thing is why would first of all, Trump is horrible to all journalists, black, white, doesn't matter who they are. He is horrible to journalists, period. Why would you invite this guy to your convention? It doesn't make sense to me. What are you thinking when you bring someone that is racist and misogynist and all the is, and then, but not only that, he hates journalists, period. Doesn't matter what color, what country, where they're from. He hates journalists. Why would you have him as a speaker?
And why would you turn her down? Why would you turn her down when she says, I can't show up in person, but I would like to come virtually, and you turn her down? So what's the motivation behind the person who organized it? Who got there? If it's a person that's from Fox who is on there and who knows who they support. But we gotta always constantly remember all your skin folks ain't kin folks.
All skin ain't kin.
We don't know what the motivation is.
All skin ain't kin.
And the fact that this panel that they have pictured up there are all black females. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to digest. And why would you do that? Because are you going to sit there and allow him to speak unchecked? What are you going to do? Because that's the stuff you have to be careful when you invite the shock into the pool.
Yeah.
Because if you're not strategic, I mean, if you're not strategic and and you don't realize that you've been manipulated by someone within your own group. Mm-hmm. And there has to be a reason why the one stepped away, why she got out. So why did she get out? So the one in the middle.
That's the advertisement for it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then he gets the big picture.
Yeah, he got the big picture. The black women are small. He's big, right? He should have been small.
It's crazy.
I just don't think that this whole idea of there's nothing. And as one person already said, don't give me that crap about being balanced. No, they're already unbalanced. I don't want to hear any of your excuses. Tell me the truth. What is it what are you getting out of it? Why are you getting it? Is there some dollars coming behind it? The way he treated April Ryan when she was out there, just the way how horrible they've been to members of that group of people. Why would you even do this? But then at the same time, you not allow her the opportunity to speak virtually. She is on the campaign trail and she's doing multiple things all at one time. And she can't stop everything she's doing just to go to this one event. But she said, hey, I can be there virtually. I can be I'm in LA on a 3-hour time difference. I can be here now. I couldn't be there in person. I'm not at the same time, but I can be here. So
and it could be live, not pre-taped or whatever.
That's what they were going to do. They offered a streaming live. They could stream her in, and they said no. I was like, holy moly! So I mean, it's very big. I mean, it's a big subject right now, and in the news people, journalists circles, people are like how. First of all, when we know Trump has, he insults. He goes out his way. He goes extra out his way to insult black journalists.
And understanding
he does it.
And understanding that, if he were to win, which he's not going to win, but if he were to win, you'd be in jail for speaking what you had to say, right?
As Gwendolyn likes to say,
what he said, you're going to be locked up. They're going to have your camp assignment ready for you. And so why are you out here trying to put yourself in a camp? And then what they need to investigate is who was behind saying no to her.
Yeah, I would love to know. That was crazy.
This the Fox correspondent that pushed that? Who pushed it?
Mm-hmm.
Who is this?
Okay, guys. Well, that was our water cooler talk for today. That was like, I just love we love our water cooler talk Wednesdays. I mean, you have to give Lisa. Lisa was like, I think I like these, Ron. I like these. So that's why we. Some people and you guys get pleasure out of it too. Because it's great to just have these conversations and just talk different headlines that are in the news. Because one, it helps you to kind of like dive in, and then also when you see as you see people putting information in the chat, it makes you say, oh, okay, let me look that one up. Let me look that up. Because the worst thing you can do is come to any platform and just take the information and just run with it.
Right.
I always say, when you are on these platforms, when I'm on Don Lemon's platform or Roland Martin platform, all these folks that really are engaging and trying to get the facts and have great people on their panels, I still go the extra mile to make sure what they're saying is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I mean, and so when you're posting stuff inside the chat, try to make sure it's always factual, and
Right.
that that's been backed up by good factual
Bring the receipt.
foundations and groundwork.
Right.
And but also, if you're in this community, keep educating yourself. Let these conversations cause you to be a geek like me.
Right.
And just keep searching, keep getting the information and learning what is out there, the truth behind what's happening. And I'm sorry, I mean, I know we have some folks that that are Caucasian in our community, and they may feel like we feel strongly about what's going on, but also the whole thing is, this is not to sound racist towards white people. I think at some point, our white brothers and sisters, our allies, have to take a moment to say, let me try to figure out why they feel this way as people of color. Because and not to be mean, but it is a lot harder for our Caucasian brothers and sisters to understand what we go through as people of color in this nation. And I remember one of my best friends, we were talking. She's is white, blonde, blue hair, I mean, blue eyes and blonde hair. And one day I said, I'm afraid to drive down because I'm just going to be the only person in the car. And I talked to her. I said, with the situation that was going on, as is coming out of the Black Lives Matter and in 2021-ish kind of. And I mentioned to her how I was feeling. And she says, oh, Ron, I never thought about that. I never thought of the danger. I just get in my car and I drive. But you being on a road from New York to Delaware by yourself, that may be a problem. I never thought of it. And she said, I'm so sorry for just assuming you should just get in your car and just drive away and you're going to feel safe everywhere you go. That's not our reality as people of color.
Right.
So the folks that are Caucasian, our allies, they have to understand when we're talking about some of these subjects, and it may seem like we're being reversed, as some folks may think it's reverse racism. I don't, but that's not the fact.
No.
The fact is that there are lots of people of color in this space. And in understanding where we're coming from, is that our day is so different from your day. I mean, we have to second guess ourselves every day of the week, every hour of the day, every minute of the hour. If we are in the public arena or area. So we have to understand, and this is, again, I love our Caucasian brothers and sisters. I mean, and I don't want to sound like a racist and say, oh, I have lots of white friends. I do have lots of white friends. And I love my white friends. I surround myself with people of all races and religions and everything. I am totally for everyone. I've been that way since I was 16 years old, fighting my dad when he was a Black Panther. I was like, yeah. Anyway, but our white sisters and brothers, you have to understand that why these subjects are on our minds is because we live it every day, all day, everywhere we go. And white folks don't have to do it. And so it's just something that's a reality. And for, sorry that if you are of the Caucasian, background, that you may feel like, oh, this may be a little racist, a little bit whatever. That's not the intention. The intention is that you are our allies. And you can't be a good ally until you know exactly how we feel and how we experience the world. And again, that's just where we are in this country, because as much as we want to, some folks want to say America is not racist, we all know America is racist to its core.
Built on racism.
It's built on
like
racism.
American Pie racism.
Every decision we make is racism. Everything that the reason why they don't like Kamala is racism. The reason why they don't like people getting food or immigrants is racism. Their laws are created in racism. You have the electoral college, racism. Everything about America is based on race. So we as a people, as Americans, we have to come together and understand each other on that foundation. And at the bottom of it all is that we really do have to get out of our silos and love each other and try to understand each other. Same thing reverse. Black folks have to understand where white folks come from. We all have to learn each other, and we will have a better country. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys out of here because I know, Brian, you had something to say, but I'm gonna let people go. They gotta get back to work. And sorry to cut you, but I am going to let you guys go. I just want that to be the final thought, so that way we can all think about we are to be unified. We have an election to win. We got to be on the same ticket. We're all in this together. Let's win this. What's the saying is? When we fight,
we win.
We win. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, before you go, Gwendolyn, where can people find you?
GR Houston Jack and Black Power Money on Instagram.
Brian, where can people find you?
Brian Young Creative on Instagram, Clubhouse, YouTube. Brian Young Creative.
You are talking up these days. I love it. Yeah. And Elise, where people can find you?
At Elise on Instagram.
Okay, and you know where to find me here at Touch Base Daily. Here we go, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll continue the conversation in our Trend Watch Thursday. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Love you all. Have a great day. And here's the songs. Here's the music. It's coming. It's coming. There we go.
Got your banner up.